Captain, United States Navy, arriving. Naval Support Activity Annapolis, arriving. Naval District Washington, arriving. United States Naval Academy, arriving. Advance the colors. Chaplain Burns will offer the invocation.
I invite those who wish to join me in prayer. Gracious and merciful God, we thank you for your providence and care in our lives, for the blessings you bestow upon us, for the opportunity to serve our nation and make an impact on its national security. We thank you especially for Naval Support Activity Annapolis and its role in supporting our Navy and the United States Naval Academy. We ask you now, Lord, to be amongst us and to bless this command and these proceedings. Encourage Captain Logan Jones that his work was well done, that his leadership has guided his sailors well, and that the impact of his legacy will be felt for some time. We thank you for his example of leadership, his firm and gracious style, his ability to allow his people the freedom to prosper and advance, and for the encouragement he has given us all. We thank you also for his wife, Amy, who has supported him so fully throughout his career. Comfort her now that this work is done.
Well, good morning and welcome to Naval Support Activity Annapolis, home of the United States Naval Academy. We are pleased you could join us for today's ceremony. I want to extend a special welcome to our distinguished guests in attendance, Mr. Steve Shue, fellow flag officers, and to our senior executive guests, welcome. Also a warm welcome to the Jones family and friends, and to Logan's wife, Amy, Liam, Aiden, and Sadie. Sadie, you look good. You look beautiful. I know you're not happy, but that's okay. You're happy for the day, just not having to get dressed up. I get it. I'm the same way, by the way, so I know I don't show it. And to the Baker family and friends, and to Vince's wife, Brenda, Daniel, Elizabeth, welcome. As the host of today's ceremony, I have the honor of introducing our guest speaker, but however, before I do so, I want to take this opportunity to thank Logan and Amy and your family for your outstanding performance and support here at NSA Annapolis. You've had a remarkable tour of duty in an incredibly visible and challenging environment. I know that NSA Annapolis is in a better place than it was 3 years ago when you arrived. You've made a difference in Annapolis and for our Navy and our nation. On behalf of Naval District Washington, thank you for what you've done here and for 29 years of dedicated sacrifice and loyal service. Fair winds and following seas. Captain Baker, Brenda, welcome aboard. It's great to have you join the team. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me pleasure to introduce today's guest speaker. Please join me in welcoming the 62nd Superintendent of the U.S. Naval Academy, Vice Admiral Ted Carter.
And welcome back to the class of 1987 and 35th Company. So for a lot of you that come here and see ceremonies at the Naval Academy, you know we do this a lot. You probably will say, I can't remember the last time I did a ceremony in Halsey Fieldhouse. So why is this happening? First of all, it was Logan's choice, and good choice, Logan. The uniqueness here is for the class of 1987, their graduation on 21 May 1987 was actually done in here because of inclement weather. And of course, Logan in the class of 1987 went on to do many great things. Logan himself, having come from the great state of Kansas, had never even seen an ocean in his life before coming into the Naval Academy. He got here, he was doing incredibly well academically. He actually wanted to be a Marine Corps officer. Studied oceanography, finished in the top 10% of his class, and of course, quite a few notables in the class of 1987. Again, those of you who are thinking back. Captain Bill Byrne, who went on to be Rear Admiral after being the Commandant of Midshipmen here, quarterback of the Navy football team. Logan, as a plebe, got to go out to the Rose Bowl to see Navy be victorious over Army. They won 2 out of their 4 games that year. Unfortunately, Logan's senior year for the class of 87, you may remember, we lost to Army. A lot of notable, great, well-remembered names from the class of 87, but let's not forget about Logan Jones and some of the things that you in 1987 were celebrating as you went out into this Navy and Marine Corps world. You have to think back about some of the great movies that were happening in 1987. It was a really landmark year. Movies like Moonstruck, Witches of Eastwick. By the way, Cher won an Oscar that year for Moonstruck. But the top grossing movie of all time that year, 3 Men and a Baby. I'm sure Logan probably went to see that. Honorary Navy Commander Tom Selleck was in that, so I know my wife Linda appreciated that movie very, very much. And how about some of the music that was going on in 1987? Number 2 song in 1987 by Heart, Ann and Nancy Williams, Alone. Okay, the number 1 song in America in 1987. Try to imagine this in your head now. Logan Jones, Walking Like an Egyptian by the Bangles. But I think really, and I heard this, Logan and I were talking earlier, his personal favorite was actually the number 11 song that year, sung by Wang Chung, Let's Have Fun Tonight. But as I wrap up some of the great things that Logan has done, I want to cover some of the things that we got to do together, specifically the deployment we did with the Enterprise Carrier Strike Group in 2012. Logan had to be the commander of that cruiser, USS Vicksburg, and keep up with us on board USS Enterprise. It was Enterprise's last deployment. She was a 51-year-old aircraft carrier, part of Carrier Strike Group 12. And as the robo-cruiser, his primary job was to serve in a position we call the shotgun, which meant that he was there to protect the carrier wherever we went. That was an 8-month deployment. And maybe the most notable thing about that, well, 2 things. One is we went through the Strait of Hormuz that summer, over 6 months of being in the 5th Fleet area of operations, 10 times. Through the Strait of Hormuz 10 times. And that year, 2012, a little over 4 years ago, was a year when the Iranians were threatening to put mines in the water, to change the economy of the world. And our job, one of our jobs, was to go through the Strait of Hormuz as many times as we could to make sure they understood that we were there and that we had freedom of navigation through them. Logan was either directly astern of Enterprise or on her starboard quarter for every one of those transits. On occasion, sometimes in front of us, and every time we went through, the Iranian gunboats would come out and take a look at us. They wouldn't come to Enterprise, they'd go to Vicksburg. So Logan got to know those guys up close and personal, did an exceptional job keeping us safe. Look forward to what we have done here at Annapolis together, where we have a very unique relationship between the Superintendent of the Naval Academy and the Naval Support Activity. I just feel very honored to have spent so much of my career with Logan and Amy and all the great work that we've done. And in a short while here, you're going to see what is the most important part of naval leadership, and that is the ceremony encompassing a change of command. So as you enjoy the rest of the ceremony today, please welcome Captain Vince Baker as he takes the mantle of command. And let's give a special thank you to Captain Logan Jones as we honor and celebrate your 29 years of great service, not only for Captain Logan Jones, but Amy and your entire family. Thank you all for paying attention today. enjoy the ceremony. Logan, fair winds and following seas to you. Thank you all very, very much.
For exceptionally meritorious conduct and the performance of outstanding service as the Installation Commanding Officer for Naval Support Activity Annapolis from May 2013 to June 2016. Captain Jones consistently performed his demanding duties in an exemplary and highly professional manner. By his dynamic direction, keen judgment, and loyal devotion to duty, Captain Jones reflected great credit upon himself and upheld the highest traditions of the United States Naval Service. For the President, signed, D.R. Smith, Vice Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Naval Installations Command.
At this time, Command Master Chief Leon Seeley will present Captain Jones with a departing gift to the members of his command. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Logan Jones, Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity Annapolis.
Folks, good morning to you. I'm going to try to liven this place up. I see Carla back there. She'll help us liven it up. No waves. Admiral Carter, Admiral Smith, Admiral Lindsay, Admiral Barrett, County Executive Shue, distinguished family members and guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's great to have you here sharing a little time in Halsey Fieldhouse with us. In just over 29 years since the last Naval Academy graduation and commissioning ceremony was held in here, as you've heard, I just thought it was appropriate to kind of bring this full circle back in Halsey, given the opportunity. I thank Tom Capt of the Naval Academy Athletic Association for helping us bring this to fruition. And I sat patiently right back there about where those bank of fans are in the back of the room as the great 35th Company waited an incredibly long time for the Vice President to get done with his somewhat wonkish speech about the irreconcilable differences between the United States and the Soviet Union. We just wanted to graduate. And we finally crossed the stage right about there where we got our diplomas, the same place where my good friend Rob Calhoun led us at the beginning of the ceremony in singing the national anthem. So when my daughter Sadie is in here with her youth soccer team practicing, she has no idea what this facility really means to many of us. I was just happy to make it. Many of our company officer, Mike and Linda Herdering, Mike and Linda were going to be here, and they suffered mechanical failure in their vehicle, which is unfortunate, but have exchanged some emails with him, and he's certainly in our thoughts. Mike's a great guy, retired as a colonel in the Marine Corps, was a major in our company office at the time. Mike had placed me in HAC. He placed me in HAC for the first half of commissioning week. Mike was a reasonable guy. I just got in trouble one too many times. My particular offense was parking illegally on Hospital Point after being told repeatedly to stop doing that. So for Steve Vossen and George Lang, hey, parking challenge in the Naval Academy, who'd have thunk it, right? But eventually he let me out of HAC, and I enjoyed the rest of the week. Folks, those who serve on board Naval Support Activity Annapolis work very, very hard every day to support tenants with world-class childcare, family recreational opportunities, safety, security, fire protection, emergency medical services, facilities maintenance, and a host of other important duties to keep the community safe and the installation employees able to focus on their jobs, most of which are tied to the Naval Academy's mission in growing midshipmen into leaders of our fleet. They do marvelous work under an increasingly tall stack of requirements and a decreasing resourcing profile. Sometimes it's just not fun, but it's always very, very important, and nobody does it better. I'd also like to recognize and thank the many volunteers who serve to and support NSA Annapolis and who provide vital services to our community. There are many who deserve recognition, But today, our own NSA Annapolis Ombudsman, Ms. Jasmine Brown-Whitby, gets the nod. Jasmine is absolutely the most energetic, gregarious, sincere, passionate, and kind person you could ever hope to meet. We're blessed when Jasmine volunteered to serve as our ombudsman, connecting our military families with services and information that might be of benefit to them and providing a vital communications conduit between our military families and command leadership. Jasmine, thank you for caring so much and giving of your time. As with any Navy career, mine simply could not have succeeded without the extraordinary training and nurturing of my father, Dave, who can be with us today, and my mother, Diana, who's unable to come due to health problems. Pop, thank you for teaching me a strong work ethic and bestowing upon me a moral and ethical compass that points true north. Moreover, I'm indebted to my wife, Amy, and our beautiful children, Liam, Aiden, and Sadie, for their amazing love and enduring support. You may not know this, but when Amy and I met, she owned a 100-plus-year-old Victorian home in the Hartford, Connecticut area. She was also following her dream of being a small business owner, selling contemporary arts and crafts in a shop she also owned. For some crazy reason, Amy sold her house and she sold her business just so she could move to Norfolk and take care of me and become part of the Navy family. An amazing sacrifice to make, one of many sacrifices in her life that has been dedicated to taking care of others. I love you, Amy. Thanks for taking such great care of our family and me. When the great class of '87 gathered here 29 years ago, and as Admiral Carter referenced, Senator Jim Webb, then the Secretary of the Navy, took time to pause and reflect in his fabulous introduction to the Vice President. And he spoke about how it was important that we celebrate that day, celebrate the commissioning and graduation of the class of '87, but that we celebrated somewhat solemnly given the tragic events just a few days prior. Of course, he's referring to the attack on Stark. 37 sailors killed, 21 sailors wounded, when two X-set air-to-surface missiles fired from an Iraqi Mirage F-1 struck the Stark while she steamed in the Arabian Gulf. I gotta be frank with you, I was ashamed of myself, and I was ashamed because I had to ask somebody what he was talking about. I was ashamed because I'd been so absorbed in the commissioning week events that were somewhat self-serving that I didn't realize the tragedy had occurred. And it was really at that moment that I realized, hey, you know, this isn't really about me anymore. It probably never was. I'm heading into the real world where our work has real risk and real consequences for real people. And I committed to doing all those within my capabilities to ensure such a thing never happened on my watch. So as I continued through the year, I was privileged to live a rich life and have a wide variety of memories, experiences, and impressions from sea. I'd ask you to allow me to share a few of these with you. Please just daydream with me for a little bit. Imagine, if you will, the thrill of a first deployment to the Mediterranean Sea during the Cold War. The excitement of holding a Soviet Tango-class submarine down and hammering the hell out of it with sonar until I had no choice but to surface in order to snorkel for air. Then the buzz when passing a Kirov-class nuclear cruiser near the Strait of Gibraltar, and then gathering around the electronic countermeasures panel to listen to the tones indicating that cruiser had locked us up with this gunfire control radar. Imagine the exhilaration of chasing an E-2C Hawkeye that was flying pilotless down along the Syrian coast after the crew had abandoned the plane following a fire on board. Thankfully, the crew members were all rescued. One of the rescued crew members was a USNA class of '89 classmate of Heidi Fleming's and a friend of mine and Rob's. Imagine the sincere sadness of losing that same friend during my second deployment in another E-2C accident. Bobby Forwalder, nicest guy you could ever meet. Had perfect pitch. When he heard a tone, he saw a color. We put him in the middle of the glee club, and if we needed to start a song on an A flat, Bobby knew it, he'd hum it, because he saw the right hue of for the right note. It was amazing. He met his wife Katie during one of our many glee club escapades. They were expecting their first child when Bobby was lost. I recently read that his son Sean graduated from the Naval Academy in 2015. Real risk, real consequences, real people. Imagine underway replenishment at sea. I've never met an unrep I didn't like. There was something about the thrill of driving another ship close aboard another as they cut a path through the ocean together. Salt spray occasionally swirling through the air between the ships, a mini rainbow appearing from time to time in the mist. The satisfaction of performing an inherently risky operation safely every time. And the dolphins. It is so cool when the dolphins decided to swim alongside the ship and jump back and forth between the bow wave. It was a wonderful sight, and you really felt like you're just part of the scene. And imagine sitting on the captain's ship with your feet up on the bridge wing railing, admiring a brilliant orange sunset, reflecting on a good day's work, and realizing this will be the last time you enjoy a sunset at sea. These last 29 years, I've been truly blessed. I've been given the opportunity to travel the world and experience things I never could have imagined, and to see and appreciate many of God's wonders across the globe. And all the Navy ever asked me to do is this: to sail in the most interesting and complex pieces of machinery our nation builds, and to serve under, and to serve with, and lead the most wonderful and talented people on the planet. So as truly excited as I am about life's next chapter, there's no doubt I'll miss the Navy very dearly. I'll be thankful every day that I had the opportunity to serve. Thank you very much for taking the time to share my transition with me today. And God bless you all.
Captain Jones, please join Reverend Lindsay mid-stage. Captain Jones's retirement certificate reads, Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who see these presents, greetings. This is to certify that Captain Logan Jones, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Navy on the first day of October 2016. Signed, Bill Moran, Vice Admiral of the United States Navy, Chief of Naval Personnel. This is a certificate of appreciation from the United States Navy. To all who shall see these presents, greetings. You will be able to spend more time with each of you in the future. The United States Navy thanks you and your husband and father for your service, for your many sacrifices. Given this 22nd day of June 2016, signed Rear Admiral Nancy B. Lindsay, United States Navy, Commandant, Naval District, Washington.
I will now read my orders.
Military guests, please rise.
Buford's Order 1306, official retirement orders for Captain Logan Jones, United States Navy. Your request to be transferred to the retired list was approved by the Secretary of the Navy when directed by Reporting Senior, detached from Naval Support Activity Annapolis. On 1 October 2016, you will be transferred to the retired list with the pay grade of Captain. Signed, David F. Steindl, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Navy Personnel Command. Captain Baker, I'm ready to be relieved.
I will now read my orders. Buford's Order 0556, official change of duty orders for Captain Vince Baker, United States Navy. When directed by Reporting Senior, report to Commanding Officer, Naval Support Activity Annapolis since his relief. Signed, David S. Steindl, Rear Admiral, United States Navy, Commander, Navy Personnel Command, Deputy Chief of Naval Personnel.
Captain, United States Navy retired, and family departing.